So today, the session is about building container and multi-cloud ODF for tomorrow. What is ODF? We'll see in the due course of the session. How many of you are working in container and cloud? Wow. I think some of the slides I should remove. Okay. How many of you have not heard about cloud or container? That's amazing. Okay, good. Okay, how many of you don't know about container and cloud? I know some people are part of both these questions. No one. Everyone knows about cloud. Which cloud? Everyone knows about container? Okay, that's really good because we are going to talk about building some solutions for data management for containers and multi-cloud. So if you know containers and multi-cloud, half job is done. If you don't know, I have a trick at the end of this session. Maybe you can try that out. So before we talk about container and cloud, why container and cloud? Why are we talking about? That's nice. Good news, you have chocolates. Okay, so why we are talking about containers and multi-cloud? Why these terms are very much prominent everywhere? If you are a techie, you may be hearing container, container orchestration, cloud, multi-cloud, data management, cloud services, and so on and so forth. Why? So one is this: 85% of applications will be running in container by 2025. Okay. More importantly, that small line. In 2020, it was 30%. Now 85% is an exponential growth. If you are a developer, nothing like it. Jump onto container, right? And it's actually on production. It is not just trying out. Usually when a new technology comes, what happens? You try out for some time and then you talk about it, hype about it, things like that. But this is not a hype, this is not a notion. It's real deployment happening in container, okay? And many of the legacy applications which are in enterprise world, taking a transition towards container deployment. And why multi-cloud? 82% of organizations are thinking about multi-cloud strategy. Why should they think about multi-cloud strategy? They can hook onto one cloud vendor, right? AWS, GCP, IBM, or whichever. But that is not the case. They must use multiple clouds for their solution deployment. So they started thinking. That's a good indication that we have good opportunity. We, like developers, we have more job to do. And the last point, again, related to multi-cloud. Why multi-cloud? Because more than 72% of organizations are using more than one cloud. You know why? One reason why multiple clouds to be used? Sorry? Prevent vendor lock in one chocolate. Yes? Flexibility and cost effectiveness. Okay, one more chocolate. Again? Data leaks. Your answer is more political or technical? Security. Security, not a direct reason. Indirectly, yes, it can be a reason. I see that encouragement. Babu, you need more chocolates. Yeah. Come on, I think it has to be interactive. So because other slides are a little boring because I talk about soda foundation. That's right. That's important because every cloud providers, if you see the service list, the services provided by the cloud vendors are different. Of course, it is different. And some of the latest technology will be coming to some of the top cloud vendors first, and then the other clouds they adopt. That's a good reason. Anything else? Scaling up and scaling down, yes. Yes. Sorry? That's a very, very good point. I think you should give a big clap for that, because this is one of the reasons many cases you can't have one cloud vendor. Because say for example, AWS services provided in India, but that time when they started providing the services, they did not have a data center in India. Now you condition, right? We have a policy that some of the financial transaction data has to be in India only. So you have to have a cloud vendor with data center in India. So that is very important. It is not only the availability, it can be also about compliance, legal compliance, GDPR and so on and so forth, data privacy, things like that. Okay, let's go on. Now with me, Stephen Tan, who is the board chair of Soda Foundation, he has to say something about why container, why multi-cloud, what we are trying to do at Soda Foundation. You don't need to worry about Soda right now. You all will get Soda later. Okay, let us hear from him. He could not join. He was planned to come because of certain reasons. He could not travel from US. Oh, 1 second. I need to connect the audio cable, right?
Hi, welcome to Solar Forum at Open Source India. I apologize for not being there in person, but I think this may be for the better, as I'm sure my co-speaker Sanil is more than happy to have the stage to himself. The theme for Solar Forum is from container to multi-cloud. Let's look at what it means. In the old days, applications ran on physical servers. There was no way to isolate applications in a physical server, and this caused resource allocation issues. The way to solve this was to run each application on a different server. Virtualization came along, which enabled isolation of applications between virtual machines and allow better resource utilization. The problem with virtual machine is that each is loaded with a full operating system, which makes them heavy. This means operations such as spinning up a virtual machine, backing up, cloning, migrating is slow and clunky. Containers provide isolation of resources and are lightweight because they share the underlying operating system. The lightness of containers make them ideal for running stateless applications, as well as many stateful applications that do not need independent operating systems. Containers bring many benefits, including some of this: agile application creation and development. Containers improves the CI/CD process as they allow frequent image build and deployment with rapid rollbacks. Service observability is improved as container provides application health and other information. And container also bring the rest of the benefits listed here. Containers are good, but not very useful when they are run independently. The shopping website will need a group of containers for the catalog, the recommendation system, the shopping cart, the payment system, and so on. That's where Kubernetes comes in. Kubernetes brings the true value of containers to the real world deployments and make containers the modern infrastructure. Some of the benefits include microservice architecture thanks to the smaller independent services that can be containerized. Kubernetes is open source with a large ecosystem of open source tools designed to work with it. The strong support of the project means there is continued innovation and improvements to Kubernetes. And Kubernetes workloads can be easily distributed across multiple cloud services. Kubernetes clusters simplifies the migration of containerized applications for on-prem infrastructure to any public cloud or private cloud infrastructure. However, multi-cloud brings many significant challenges to users. These include operations complexity caused by multiple APIs and compatibility issues between clouds, and the time and resources to move data between data centers and clouds. There's also the fragmented security due to data spread everywhere and cost control from the cost of cloud storage and moving data in and out of clouds. And there's also the poor user experience due to lack of visibility across clouds and managing on-prem and each cloud service individually. These challenges can be addressed by a single multi-cloud framework that can reduce complexity with a single multi-cloud API, abstracting the backend cloud services, and simplify data protection and security with consistent policies on-prem and across clouds, and also avoid cloud vendor lock-in with data mobility from on-prem to any cloud and from cloud to cloud, and control the cost of public clouds by reducing the cloud storage use and cloud data ingress and egress. Multi-cloud is here. Now, in various surveys, over 80% of enterprises say they are using multiple clouds. And in one survey, it finds that 78% of enterprises use 3 or more clouds. The SODA multi-cloud vision comprises multi-cloud mobility, multi-cloud observability, and multi-cloud security. Multi-cloud mobility involves moving data between on-prem and any cloud, including public and private clouds for application mobility, data migration, and so on. Strato is the core project for mobility, complemented with Terra, heterogeneous storage management, and Como Data Lake projects. Multi-cloud observability allows continuous monitoring and remediation actions, and is based on the existing Delphin observability project. Multi-cloud security enables consistent protection and security everywhere. It comprises the Kahu project for data protection and a new project Corgi for data security. I invite everyone to participate in the SODA multi-cloud vision and tackle the multi-cloud challenges together. Thank you very much.
You watched the video, right? Now it's a quiz time. Ready for it? What is multi-cloud? SODA's multi-cloud vision. Anyone remember some of those keywords? Okay. So Cotto chocolate. Sorry? Security, data security is one of them. Mobility is one of them. Observability, yes. I think you should encourage your friends as well, right? When they answer. How do you encourage them? Thanks. So,
On-premise and
sorry?
cost control on on-premise and other premises.
I will go through about, sorry for that. I will go through about SODA Foundation and the platform, what we are trying to do, edge, core, and on-premise through the slides quickly. And maybe offline also we can discuss about the cost part. Because right now we are not handling the cost part, but when it comes to multi-cloud, we will be focusing on that. Okay, so before we go further about the projects, Stephen mentioned some of the projects included in the multi-cloud vision, what we have. We will see which are those projects and what is the status of those projects. And before that, we need to know what is SODA, right? Any of you heard about soda before? Before in the sense, before the OSI, because you might have seen already the booth out there. Soda members excuse. No one? No one heard about soda. I'm asking soda, not soda foundation. Oh, this is amazing. You're all okay. So soda foundation. Okay, how many of you know about CNCF? CNCF. That's okay. That's also not so good. But many of you are working on containers. CNCF is a sub foundation under Linux Foundation. Now I need to ask, how many of you know about Linux Foundation? Oh, this is much better. Okay, Linux Foundation. Foundation, yesterday evening we had a session about open source. What is foundation? Foundation is nothing but just consolidation of projects. Okay, they consolidate the project, come up with some common guidelines so that the projects can operate much better. That's why you see open source projects are having much higher quality, security, deployability today compared to the commercial products. So Linux Foundation hosts hundreds of different projects in different domains: energy, edge, cloud computing, cloud native, data management, etc. So CNCF will focus on cloud native projects like Kubernetes, Prometheus, Core, DNS, and so on and so forth. Soda Foundation is at the same level as CNCF. We handle data and storage, data management and storage related projects. So Soda Foundation is not a single project, it's a foundation which hosts multiple projects related to data and storage, data management and storage. Sorry. That's a good question. For the question, we need to give a chocolate. What is the full form of GNU? Please don't answer. I know Sachin will know. He's an oldie on open source force and all. Anybody else, GNU? Cameraman raise hands. No, okay. Sorry? GNU is not Unix, that's right. You should carry two because there are two people there. Otherwise, we'll have a problem there. Okay. So it's a recursive acronym, right? GNU. Similarly, SODA is a recursive acronym. SODA is nothing but Soda Open Data Autonomy. Interesting? I'm a fan of GNU and open source. Sorry? Not really, because we started with ODA. So people started open data autonomy we talked about. Then people started talking about, hey, it should not be just ODA. You know what? These days, anything comes, you need to add some prefix. What is the usual prefix? Phone. Before phone, something came, right? What? No IA. We are Indians. We are smart. Before phone, smart came, right? So most of the things we want to make smart, right? So first we thought smart ODA. Then people said scalable ODA. Okay? Then I think there were a lot of this kind of S expansion came. Then we thought this is not going anywhere. So we should find a way, our own way. So we started calling it as SODA. Then it struck that it's interesting. It is matching with GNU, recursive acronym. But fortunately, SODA is very popular, so we don't need to say the acronym unless people like Sachin ask this. Okay, coming back to the topic. In fact, I'll go very slow, and those people are not there. So, like I mentioned, SODA Foundation is like any other software foundation. We build projects around data and storage and ecosystem to work across software vendors, platform vendors, like developers, and hardware vendors. I mean, that's our idea, storage and data platform. We'll see a little more details on it. Next slide. Okay, this is a typical pitch that Completely it is open source, and we encourage open collaboration. Yesterday also we talked about it. And open research, that we will see what kind of research we do. Okay, so this is a kind of an architecture what we have. It is a logical solution. Please remember that it's a logical solution. It is not a one project. This architecture is realized by multiple projects under different GitHub organizations. We'll see that. So in summary, don't worry about so many components there. Our idea is that any platform, any storage. When you talk about any platform, it can be Kubernetes, VMware, because these are the platforms where you run your applications. Correct? If you can connect platform to the storage, then you can connect application to storage. That's what we need, right? End of the day, we want to connect applications to storage. Right? So what we envision to give is that we want to give any platform can be connected to any storage. When you say any storage, it can be on-premise storage from NetApp, IBM, or any other vendor, storage boxes. And it can be software-defined storage. Or it can be cloud storage, any storage, okay? It is transparent. The application doesn't need to know whether it is cloud storage, on-premise storage, or it is on software, right? But what is needed? I should have my data to be accessed and processed, that's it. So like I mentioned, this foundation hosts multiple projects. It has to run, so we need support from different organizations. So it is run by multiple industry organizations. Right now we have around 29 organizations, including vendor, platform providers, standard organizations. Even from India, we have CCI. I think you will listen to him in the later part of the session. And we have academia, like Christu Jayanti College is part of our organizations, and we welcome more colleges. And also standard organization like SNIA. Why? Because we want to work together to achieve this. And why this session? The session is primarily not to pitch Soda, but to share that this vision we can collectively do in open source together. So we have a very good opportunity of developers in India. Like I mentioned, container and multi-cloud is hot. And if you are in that domain, of course, you will also be hot. Okay, so Soda hosts some of the projects by Soda community itself. We develop, we maintain some of the projects. That is called Soda framework projects. And there are Soda echo projects. In the sense, we don't want to reinvent everything, right? If you want to give end-to-end solution, there are other storage projects out there, open source projects, okay? We collaborate only with open source projects. So we invite them. If they are interested to join to build a solution together, they can join Soda Foundation. There is no ties. The maintenance, administration, legal, everything with them. But this is to build end-to-end solution together. Okay, that's the idea. So you can see these projects. I think we'll see the projects later. This is just to say that we have a project ecosystem. Even if you have an individual project, you can join from India. A project maintained by one person is also joined to Soda Foundation. So if you are passionate about development, you have some related projects, we welcome. Okay, this is governance. I think we have, this is just to say that we have a structured governance with different people from different organizations. These are some photos of the people from different organizations. I just want to tell you that I am not lying. Okay, coming to Soda projects. As I mentioned, we have two types of projects. One is framework project, which is maintained by Soda, and Soda Echo project is maintained by the corresponding project owners. So Stephen was mentioning some of these projects. Terra, Delphin, Strato, Kahu, Como. Okay, interesting names, right? Some or the other interesting names to be put to get attention, that's it. So this focuses on the common platform issues, because the major platform issues for unified data management is what we focus on Soda projects, Soda framework projects. So that will be bigger framework components in general. And it's completely managed by Soda Foundation or Soda community. So we'll quickly go through this. Offline we can discuss, our booth is there. We have demo of all these projects. The first 3 projects especially. The next 1 project is under discussion, so there also you can join. You can come to our booth and understand and see how it works. So Terra is a SDS controller. It's like orchestration and provisioning, unified orchestration and provisioning across different storage. We support Kubernetes, OpenStack, and VMware at the moment. And then driver side, I think we have more than 10, 15 different types of storages. Our only problem of adding more storages is that we don't have storage to test. As an open source project, I can't get a lot of different vendor models to test. So some of the organizations help us to test. Those are already added. But any of the organizations are interested to add their storage to this platform, welcome. It is completely open. We can develop outside, and we just need the access to test. So this is Delphin. This is a very, very important project going forward. Personally, this is my favorite. This provides, as of now, this is an enterprise solution. It's productionized GA project. This provides a heterogeneous storage monitoring across the storage. This is one of the good projects which can be utilized by the users, because users generally use different storage vendors. Right now, their management systems are locked in with the vendors, storage vendors. But this will avoid that. It can be used, we already support around 18 different storage models of top vendors. It can be used for storage monitoring across your deployment of different storage boxes with a unified interface. Not only that, this data you can pipeline to Prometheus. And if you get it to Prometheus, you can just connect to Grafana and you can have custom visualization, beautiful visualization of the data, right? Now, anytime we talk about metadata or monitoring data, what do you want? You want to do analysis, right? You want to do analysis, AML, anomaly detection, etc. We have an exporter to connect to Kafka. Okay? So as soon as you connect to Kafka, the rest is in your hand. Right? You can connect to TensorFlow. We already have a POC with TensorFlow. You can do an anomaly detection on it. Not only that, the last one is most important for most of the product vendors. Custom data management platforms can be connected. So the exporter, you can write an exporter to connect to your data management platform, and whatever data is coming, you can visualize the way you want. Okay? That's the beauty of this. And why I like this project. Now, if you go Google observability, very, very hot topic. And that topic is also, if you take it up, you will become hot. Have you heard about DevOps? Most of you. DevOps. Oh, that's not enough. I think I want to wake you up. DevOps, yes? Okay, so most of you heard of DevOps. How about AIOps? AIOps, yes or no? Heard. No need to know, I also don't know. For AIOps to work, if you go and search outside, AIOps to work, end-to-end AIOps to work, you need observable systems. You need strong observability platform. One of the key backbone for AIOps is observability. Right? So this project is going to be, if we can collectively work, build an observability out of this. Convert Delphin to an observable system, especially for cloud native, especially in Kubernetes platform. The storage part is the weakest. We work with them, we collaborate. That's the weakest one. If you go CSI cannot do many of the data management, what is happening in enterprise. It cannot give you the storage metadata, it can only give volume metadata. So what we are going to do in the next phase is that Delphin will be a native project in cloud native, Kubernetes, first step. So Kubernetes native monitoring for heterogeneous storage, it will be killer. Then, if we can build observability on top of it for cloud native, nothing like it. So that's why this is one of the favorite projects for me. Okay, this is also favorite. Okay, this is for multi-cloud data. As we discussed, everybody is using multiple clouds. Now to manage your multi-cloud data resources, what you need to do? You need to go through Amazon dashboard, GCP dashboard, or IBM dashboard, right? In general, otherwise, you have solutions, proprietary solutions or managed solutions. You need to go commercial solutions to do a management, unified management. But Strato will give you a unified interface to do your data management, orchestration, provisioning, and data lifecycle migration in the sense within the cloud or across the cloud or on premise. Primarily it works on S3, but also support file and block. So now, sorry. Yes. Could you please repeat? Could you please repeat?
Yeah. So my question is, what if we have a data in, let's say, in MySQL across multiple clouds, and we want to maintain sync between the data? Will this kind of a solution help?
Sync in the sense your database are different database services, or how is it?
Different database services, different instances, but they are supposed to connect with each other. As in, they share the same data. So we are okay with the latency, let's say.
Uh-huh.
So somehow we want that both the clouds should have the data at any point of time.
Okay.
Same
so,
data.
One clarification. Right now, Strato is primarily on the control plane. Okay. So when I say control plane, it does the management part of it. You can orchestrate, you can provision, you can also do data backup, data migration, etc. It doesn't come primarily on data path. It's not purely correct, because when you talk about S3, S3 is like a management plus, control plane plus data plane. In that aspect, we can actually access the data across the cloud through our S3 interface. There is no problem at all. This is one of the things what we are trying to do it in the multi-cloud vision, that we want to do data plane as well. Like you mentioned, sync the data. Suppose the databases are distributed. Application is running in one of the clouds or on-premise or edge. So seamlessly you want to access the data, right? So these are the kind of things. One of the use cases for the data lake project what we are talking about is the similar one. They want to access the S3 data, object data across multiple cloud and do the data analysis on that. So this is what we are going to do, but Strato as such doesn't support. Strato is more on the control plane.
Thank you.
Excuse me, how much time I have? 10 minutes. Okay. Then I need to run because I have invited some people to talk along with me. So all these projects, you can come to our booth and you can just go to sodafoundation.io or docs.sodafoundation.io. If you're further interested, if you're a developer, you can go to sodafoundation.io/slack, sodafoundation.io/slack. Just join and say, hi, I am interested to contribute, or I am interested to know. Our community members will definitely get back to you with all the information. It's as simple as that. You don't need to know anything else. Now, on the container data management, see, container data management multi-cloud is kind of identified direction for Soda. Okay, that's why we are building a platform and framework for container data management. Container data management can be various stuff: data protection, data governance, data security, etc. Now, the first project is Kahu, not Kaho. So this project is for data protection, for container, Kubernetes native data protection. Right now it supports backup and restore, and the next phase we are going to do replication and failover. Why? Because most of the people are moving, whoever is moving to container and cloud, they prefer backup and restore or archival kind of use cases first, because they don't trust. Then this is for the data lake, which I told about object data management across multiple cloud. These are echo projects which will help us, because some of the projects we are already working with, like SBK is a storage benchmarking kit maintained by one person. He will be talking in the afternoon. And these are the projects from different organizations. Other than SBK, everything is from different organizations like Intel, Seagate. So they work with us to build the complete solution. And we have, of course, regular releases. We have generally 2 releases per year. One is already done in May, next will be in December. And the Soda releases will be multiple projects included in that. I mean, unlike any other foundations. We have a foundation level releases. Not only software development, we do research. We work with LF research and do industry trend survey. Last year we have done industry survey, we came to know that container is a very, very strong area. That's why we started a project in February called Kahu, right? So similarly, we have already completed the trend survey on 2022 to understand what's happening in the industry in data management. The report will be published in December at SodaCon, the next event. It's partnered with the different organizations. And hopefully, we have some specific questions on multi-cloud this year. So we may be getting from some of the user challenges this year, and it will be published. Okay, these are all kind of, we have a lot of events. OSI is like from Soda launch in 2020. Before that itself, we had a pre-launch in the same podium. And the next one is, if you can travel to Japan, please join our SodaCon in Japan. It is a in-person event, but we'll be streaming some part of it. And we also have, if you're traveling to London next year, we can meet there for the multi-cloud world. And these are some of our events. Okay, I'll just, like I mentioned, we have a lot of partners. So we have partners in India as well. So we should listen to them, what they have to say about Soda Foundation, right? So the first one is DataCore. When I say DataCore, immediately you'll say it's not an Indian company, right? Yes, it is not. Earlier, we had a partner called Maya Data. It was founded in India by an Indian. Maya Data was part of it. Maya Data recently acquired by DataCore. Okay? But still, we thought that there are a lot of developers of Maya Data in India. So we thought that we should listen to Nick as well.
And I'm also a tech lead for the CNCF Storage Technical Advisory Group. It's a pleasure to be here as part of this conference and to be speaking about our involvement with the Soda Foundation. Over the past few years, I've had the privilege of working closely with the team from Maya Data, who created OpenEBS, the leading open source container attached storage solution, which is part of the Linux Foundation and also a Soda Eco project. I'm pleased to say that in order to support the further development of this project, DataCore have acquired Maya Data and have been able to combine the two Bengaluru-based engineering teams into one centre of excellence. Since then, we've seen the release of OpenEBS 3.3, including the new production-ready MayaStore data engine delivering NVMe-grade performance. DataCore will be continuing to invest in OpenEBS with future releases including high availability enhancements, snapshots, and thin provisioning. This is an open source conference, but why does open source matter? Well, here's an example from a recent security conference. Security is increasingly becoming a key concern with high-profile data breaches and a changing legal environment. A speaker from Open UK argued compellingly that our infrastructure needs to be open source because no other model can offer our societies the visibility and threat protection that we need for these critical resources. As well as investing in OpenEBS, DataCore is actively involved with digital security by design and the ARM Morello project to create future architectures that are secured from the ground up. As an industry, we're in the middle of a significant transformation. We're moving away from a world with silos of compute and storage to one where applications need to run across the entire ecosystem, ranging from the data center through to multi-cloud, edge, and IoT. This is being fueled by containerization and the adoption of Kubernetes as the control plane for the enterprise. But one of the key challenges is still the management of persistent data in a world where the infrastructure is ephemeral. This isn't something that a single company can do on their own. It takes a community, and that's why we joined the Soda Foundation several years ago. There's a need for common abstractions and reference implementations covering the cloud-native space. There's plenty of opportunity here. The Soda Foundation is uniquely positioned with people from different backgrounds, skills, and experience. I'd encourage you to get involved. Hope you have a great conference.
So Cloud Computing Innovation Council of India, I think you should know and you can be part of it because there are research happening in India by Indians. So I welcome Chengappa. He's an expert in HP and he's the secretary of CCICI and IEEE Bangalore session. He'll talk about what is their partnership with Soda.
Thank you, Sanil. Well, in the interest of time, I would keep it very crisp and brief. And Sanil has already laid the pitch of what container is and how multi-cloud scenario is evolving. So I want to ask a question before I start. Can some of you name cloud service providers? Okay. 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 So, okay. So the next question would be, how many of you can name Indian cloud service providers? Okay. Okay. All right. So, talking about CCICI, right? Sorry. Right. Well, talking about CCICI, Cloud Computing Innovation Council of India, right? So this started something in 2013, and it was founded by Pamela Kumar, who is the current DG of TSDSI, and we wanted to have a neutral organization working with the government and see like how we can like roll out the adoption of cloud computing in India back then. So when we started out, this was incubated out of IEEE India office, and then after a couple of years, we started our own operations, and since then, we have been partnering with organizations like SODA and also other open source foundations. Recently, there was a notification by MITI shared on the cloud RFPs. Is anyone of you aware of that? So essentially, if some the service providers and also the Indian service providers who wanted to respond to the RFPs rolled out by Government of India, right? So there was a norm in the MITI's disclaimer saying that these companies had to be listed in the magic quadrant of Gartner. Yeah, so Gartner, right? So that was sort of not in favor with the Indian companies and Indian cloud service providers. So Cloud Computing Council of India, CCI took a stance, and we did have frequent interactions with the MITI in to bring this down. So now there was like a couple of weeks back, there was a notification rolled out from MITI saying that for taking part and responding to the RFPs, so this norm is no longer needed. So this is the kind of work that we do in terms of policies and framework when we talk about CCICI. And also when we talk about the other work groups that we are doing. So we are also into cloud study, and we also like are looking into the interoperability and portability standards in Indian ecosystems, and that is where we partner with organizations as SODA. So if any one of you are interested to partner with CCICI, again, so this is an all volunteer organization just like IEEE. And I'm fortunate enough to partner with both CCICI and IEEE as well. So coming back to CCICI, so again, so this is a volunteer-driven organization, and if you are interested in what we are doing and want to join hands and contribute to the Indian open source ecosystem framework and developing the policies and frameworks, you are welcome to do that. With this, I would hand the podium back to Sanil. Thank you, Sanil.
Thanks, Chikapa. In the interest of time, maybe I'll call Professor Pandian sir and Sai from Wipro. Both of you can join.
Very good morning. Thank you, Sanil sir, for this opportunity. So I'm representing Kristu Jayanti College. It's an autonomous institution. So the most important thing is, the education institution, still the labs and other programs, we do a monolithic approach. So the new trend, what we see here is the microservices. And so when we are looking for the opportunity to, explore on this area, so where that time the SODA Foundation came in, and we are partnering with them and with the collaboration. A lot of trainings are happening, and we have a student club in our campus. And through that, there are a lot of interactions and the meetups are happening in various locations, and children are able to learn, the new ideas and the new concept, and the new one today, what we heard, container to multi-cloud. And these are the things, they have to be very versed with the market conditions, so their placements and the other processes takes care very simple way. So on behalf of the management, I express my heartfelt gratitude for the SODA Foundation for giving us this opportunity, and especially to Mr. Sanil for helping us to go with this particular foundation. Thank you so much.
This is Sainath. So I work for Wipro, part of the ER&D services team as a practice head for storage and compute and peripherals. So I'm the India OC lead for SODA community as well. So we have been involved with SODA right from OpenSDS days. We started with contributing testing some of the northbound plugins that they were developing. So that's the meager start we had. Later we got involved in driver development for the storage, helping the community with getting some kind of access or interfaces to various storage. Success rate has not been great, but we have put a lot of effort on that, working with the companies that we are involved with. And of late we have even, we are discussing about dedicated development for Soda Lake kind of projects where we take up and deliver in an ownership basis. So this is our way of looking at it. And what is in it for us? So we have our customers who are all into these areas like our containers or cloud or even data related analytics and many edge projects we are doing in Wipro. So we are seeing a lot of leverage in what we do here for our customers. So we go back to our customers with some of the solutions that we see here as proposals and alternate ways to look at. Thanks, Sanil.
Thanks, Sai. In this coordinates on the Slack, you just join the Slack, you are in. And we have a track in the afternoon. This is the trick I told. If you want to know more about container, Kubernetes, multi-cloud, or more about our projects and demos, today afternoon we have a SODA forum from 3 p.m., 3:15. Please join us.